Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 29th day of April, 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy on this Tuesday, that your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are doing their best to save lives. Blessings upon those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create the demands that cause these evil industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless, more than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, military veterans, homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There will be a basketball game tonight at Madison Square Garden at 7:30. The New York Knicks will be hosting the Detroit Pistons. This is not the regular season. I just want to remind everybody of that, because if you recall, before the playoffs started, everybody was harping on the fact that Detroit had beat the Knicks 3 times during the regular season. And a lot of us were saying that's not the playoffs. The playoffs are a different season, a different game. Well, I think as we're looking now, the Knicks are 3 games to 1 lead. We can now see. And not just the Knicks, but you see all the other games in the league. Even there's a lot of the playoffs where there's 3-1 leads. Golden State's up 3-1. Oklahoma City, I don't know if they swept them yet, but it's at least 3-0. It's not 4-0 already. And then there's a number of games where it's 3-1. I think the Juju and them got the Lakers 3-1. Indiana got Milwaukee 3-1. So there's a lot of series that, are pretty much over or going to be. But all of those series, including this one, even though they're 3-1, for the most part, except for the Oklahoma City, except for maybe Boston, Miami, and Oklahoma City, most of these other series are very hotly contested. Every game. And every game's a war. Okay? And that's the case with the Knicks. But it's a different season in that during the course of the regular season, okay, you might have a guy that comes off your bench and beats you, beats the opponent because they're just hot that night. Or you might have, a guy that doesn't have any energy, or your team might be on the second night of a back-to-back or the end of a road trip, 4-game, 5-game road trip. So all of those variables come into play during the course of the regular season. But they do not come into play in the playoffs. In the playoffs, you got rest between games. It's just you and one opponent, and you are face-to-face, and you're studying each other. And one of the things about a 7-game series is there's no luck involved. The best team wins, because you have to win the best out of 7. So you need to win 4 games again, in a 7-game series. So no team in the NBA that's a lesser team is going to beat a greater team, in a 7-game series. Even if there's an upset, generally it's because the team that lost wasn't as good as previously thought, or the team that won was better than previously thought. Taking into account like the Miami Heat from 2 years ago come from the play-in, they go to the finals. See, so but that's rare. That doesn't really happen that often. Maybe 3 or 4 times in the history of the NBA has something like that happen. Like the Knicks went to the finals in '99, I think. It was a shortened season, but they were the 8th seed. They ended up going to the finals. That's very rare, though. Usually, it plays out. The best teams are on the top of the conferences, and then it comes down to the playoffs. And again, because it's a different season, that's when you really see the grind. There's no injuries involved. Like with the Knicks last couple years, Julius Randle was hurt. Jalen Brunson was hurt. Mitchell Robinson was hurt. We had a lot of injuries, OG Anunoby, but this year it's not the case. So the reason I brought all that up is to say the Knicks are the better team here. Okay, they're no, not to say anything about the Detroit Pistons in terms of them being a bad team. They're a really good team, and I think a lot of people underestimated Detroit. But this is Cade Cunningham's first playoff series in his career. Okay, and he's going to be in a lot more. Okay, and they have built up a very nice squad. JB Bickerstaff is the good coach. Got a good staff. They got a good front office, even though that has changed, as we know, a couple of times. But they still maintain a strong front office. They got nice young core of talent. Cunningham, Duran, Ivy. They got a nice young core of talent on the Detroit Pistons team. Of course, Thompson. They got, so not anything against Detroit, but they are young. See, this is why Tom Thibodeau favors veterans. I know fans like to always be, I still get knuckleheads talking about when you're going to play Kolek. We're in the playoffs now. Believe it or not, there's still people talking about when you're going to play Kolek. You need experience to win in the playoffs in the league. Guys that have been through it. That's why it really did offend a lot of us that BSPN and others picked Cade Cunningham as the best player in this series. This is his first playoff. Jalen Brunson is a proven warrior. He has been through this. He knows what it takes. And he's the clutch player of the year. So he is definitely the best player on both teams. I know some people think it's Towns, but you have to understand, you don't understand basketball in terms of pros. This ain't high school. This is the league. You need a head of the snake that's going to lead you. It is JB that sets up Towns to be successful. Okay? So he is the head of the snake. He's been the head of the snake. And I've been saying all along, as y'all know, never bet against Jalen Brunson. He's that guy that you don't want to see if you're the opponent at all. And we got him on our team. Plus you got Cat. Plus we got the whole supporting cast that we now have. So the Knicks are the better team. So tonight is game 5 with the Knicks up 3-1. Of course, we know if the Knicks win this game, Detroit's going on vacation. So what's going to happen? Well, Detroit's going to be desperate. They're going to be desperate. They're going to bring all the energy and fight they have left. And this is another thing. Like some people would say to me, why don't the Knicks play defense like they did at the end of the Pistons game all the time? What you need to understand is, as human beings, right, usually it takes situations to bring out your best. Your adrenaline, right? And then of course we know with Brunson that there's that DNA that just I'm gonna take over at the end. Not everybody has that, and at the end of a game, everything is heightened. Okay, your awareness, everything is heightened, and so these are world-class athletes, the best at what they do in the world, with heightened senses of urgency. It happens. You can't force that. It just happens, right? It's not actually even sustainable to have that type of heightened sense of urgency for 48 minutes. It's very difficult. But what you have to do, if you're the Knicks, you have to stay calm and cool. You do have to. The Knicks have already shown they can be physical with these boys. These boys ain't no Detroit bad boys. They trying to be, but the Knicks can hang with them. The Knicks can actually more physical with them if they want. But we have to stick with our game plan, which is Knicks basketball. Now, we've been getting out rebounded by them a couple times in the series. So they're a very strong rebounding team. The Knicks do not have their best rebounding team on the floor. You need Mitchell Robinson out there for that as a starter. MitchRob was sick on Sunday. Not making no excuse, but that's why he only played 9 minutes. Hopefully, if he feels better today, that's good. So Knicks basketball, we got to rebound the basketball. Again, Thursday, in game 3, the Knicks out-rebounded them because they had a gang mentality. Well, I don't even know if we out-rebounded them, but we definitely rebounded the ball well. Had 40 rebounds, and they had a gang mentality on the boards. We're going to need that today because Detroit's going to be desperate. Detroit's going to be overplaying, which means there's going to be a lot of backdoor cuts. A lot of give and goes going to be available because they're going to be overplaying. They're going to be pushing and bumping as they've been doing. I don't know who the referee is going to be. They're going to let us know at 9 o'clock today. I hope it's either the crew from last Thursday or the crew that we just had Sunday. They was both really good. Again, as far as refereeing, okay, you have to understand, the referees are human too. This ain't all machine, right? So they're going to make mistakes. Refs blow calls. It happens every single game, especially in the playoffs. They don't want to, but it's a lot of heightened scrutiny. It's the playoffs. So what you see at the end of a game in terms of the foul discrepancies, like what happened a week ago yesterday, game 2, where the Knicks were 15 free throws behind Detroit. That's terrible refereeing right there. That's terrible. This is the playoffs. Both teams are equally intense, equally doing the same thing. The foul free throw shooting should be similar. It don't have to be exactly equal, but within 1 or 2 or 4 of each other, not 15. And I hope we never see that crew again in this playoffs. And I think that the NBA must have caught that because we haven't seen them. And I don't want to see them tonight. But that's what we're talking about. If at the end of the game, and that's what Thibodeau says, I don't care if they call it tight, they call it loose, as long as it's consistent on both sides. That means you got each equal chance to win the game. That takes the referees out the game, okay, and makes it on the players and on the teams. So the Knicks they're going to be overplaying. They're going to be being physical. They're going to be bumping and grinding with the Knicks and trying to intimidate them, which is stupid. It ain't going to work. But it will get them in foul trouble, which has been the case for the last couple of games. We need to rebound the ball, a game mentality. Cat needs to have the ball a lot in the half court set because they can't. Again, the weakness of this series is they have nobody to guard him. Tobias Harris cannot guard him. Jalen Duren cannot guard him. Okay, nobody. Paul Reed cannot guard him. Nobody on Detroit can guard Karl Anthony Towns. And again, this is the playoff. During the course of the season, because Towns is physical offensively. I mean, he pushes you with his offhand. He uses his bows. He uses his body. He's very physical offensively. And if you remember, during the course of the year, he got called for a lot of offensive fouls for that. But this is the playoffs. It's a different season. Things that might have been called offensive foul during the course of the year with him are not being called now because it's playoffs, okay? So that being the case, if they let them play physical, that works in our advantage. Not only that, as I mentioned many times, Towns is an excellent passer at the 5 spot. So he will find backdoor cutters. So the Knicks are going to have that opportunity because Detroit's going to be pressing, okay? Pressing hard. So backdoor is going to be open, give and go is going to be open, and he's very good at finding them. And the Knicks have high IQ players, OG, of course, the Wingstop, OG and Mikal, as well as Jalen Brunson and, of course, Josh Hart. They all play with high IQ. And so he will find you. So we have to play our basketball, gang rebound. And, of course, as the Knicks have been doing, they did the last game and did all right in Thursday's game, control the turnovers. Cade Cunningham turns the ball over a lot. That's a product of him being young. He's not always going to do that, but he's doing it now because this is his first playoff. Take advantage of it. So he turns the ball over a lot. Keep turning them over, okay? And keep yours low. So low turnovers, defense, rebounding. The weakness on defense is Karl Anthony Towns because he gets lost sometimes on defense. He loses his man completely sometimes on defense. And Detroit is really good. Cade Cunningham is so good that ends up in a dunk, usually from Duren or Reed or somebody else. So he has to be cognizant of some solid. We don't have to be outstanding, just solid. You know where your man is, as Clyde tells you, the basics. See your man, see the ball, And you know, and again, this is what he is. This is the playoffs, but just do the best you can there, Mr. Cato. Okay. Then on defense, we also need to make sure that we're guarding Beasley and Hardaway. Now, what has worked for the Knicks is they've kind of let Hardaway go a little bit. I mean, like, you got to focus. You can't guard everybody. You got to pick every NBA team is pick your poison, really. So the Knicks are pressing Cade Cunningham with OG and Mikal, but you also got to guard Beasley. Beasley's very capable of lighting you up by himself, getting 5, 6, 7 3-pointers in the game. So you got to watch him. That means that Hardaway has been getting some good looks, and he's been nailing them. But as you can see, it hasn't caused them to win. That's why you certain players we give pressure to him, but it's not the attention that a Beasley or Cade Cunningham is getting, which is why Beasley has not been shooting the ball well. And that's the thing that's really annoying. People say, well, Beasley hasn't been shooting the ball well. That's why the reason he ain't shooting the ball well because he's getting people up in his ass. It ain't just like he's just missing. He's missing because people up in his ass, right? So yeah, he's off because he's been getting D'd up, period. It ain't just like he got wide open looks and he's open. In fact, the looks that Beasley has gotten have been tough. He's got to step back to the side, move to the right and shoot. He has not had, the Knicks have played very good defense on him. That needs to continue, okay? Also, the dunk that Cunningham had with the left hand last game where he came down the lane and dunked, if you look at that play closely, Beasley actually grabbed OG's arm to stop his progress from staying with Cade, which opened it up for Cade to get the dunk. So that's what I'm saying. They shouldn't be whining about nothing. They was doing a lot of dirty stuff. And we all know now, I mean, most of us, that Tobias Harris was out of bounds, and he was also pulling on Josh Hart in the last play. So then whining about that no call is a whine, and we ain't got no cheese for it. So, but that's what physical playoff basketball is about. But OG has been doing an outstanding job on Cade, causing him to take a lot of shots, which takes other people out the offense. And, you know, Cade get his 25, but he got to throw up 25 shots to get it, okay, which is cool. You got to keep him out the lane much as possible. Keep him out the lane. They did a good job of that Sunday. That's why it was 94-93. It was really good defense on both sides. The Detroit plays very good defense. Bickerstaff has them playing really good defense. That's why they're there, okay? So the Knicks got to continue that. Keep him out the lane. Don't let him, because, you know, anybody in the league, that even guys that are called journeymen in the league, we've seen it many years with the Knicks before they got Deuce, and they got some defense out there. Everybody, anybody that was the 12th man, that was the point guard, could get in the lane on the Knicks, under Fizdale, under Hornacek, under anybody, okay? So they've been doing a good job keeping the lane relatively clean. Keep it like that. MitchRob I'm hoping, there's nobody on the Knicks injury report today. There's just Isaiah Stewart and Jaden Ivey for Detroit. We know Jaden Ivey's coming back from a severe injury. And then we know Isaiah Stewart's left knee has been messing with him the whole series. So now he's out. But there's nobody. Jalen Brunson's not on the injury report. Mitchell Robinson's not on the injury report. So they will be here tonight. Hopefully, what MitchRob had, like Luka had it last week too, and he missed. They say he spent all day. It was a game day, and he spent all day in bed trying to recover. So something was going around. MitchRob had it. So now hopefully, and it's usually, it looks like from Luka's response, it looks like it's about 36-hour thing. So hopefully MitchRob comes back strong today, and he can play his usual 18 minutes. If he does that, we'll be in good shape. Okay, the defense will be tight. So defense, rebounding, low turnovers, okay? Offensively, Cat needs the ball in his hands. I'm expecting, and I can't say we all, but we understand that Jalen Brunson is the clutch player of the year for a reason. And he will close, okay? He's going to do that. And this is how good, again, people are in the NBA. This is how good the players are. Everybody on earth knows that he's going to try to close. Fourth quarter, he's going to take over. But there's nothing you could do about it. That's the thing. You could know what they're going to do, and you still can't stop. See, that's how good players are in the league. So he's going to do this thing. Now, if we can get one of our ancillary players to pop today, Deuce has been having a terrible series shooting the basketball. He's been having a great series defensively, but shooting the ball, he has not been the Deuce that we've seen, because this is the playoffs and they much more, you get actually during the course of the regular season in the NBA, you have fractions of seconds to get off a shot. And they're so good, that is the players, they'll hit them even with that. It's much, like I said, it's different than the college game. You could have a guy, again, that could shoot the lights out in college and can't shoot in the NBA. It's not like he forgot how to shoot. You get fractions of a second to get that ball off in the league. Okay, fractions of a second. And it's quicker than college, quicker than any other league. But the playoffs, it goes to another level, even. Goes to another level. Very, very, like, it's like when you always, I don't know, when I was a boy and we played in the street, sometimes when we was really balling, there was fouling, there was when it was real competitive, and dudes that could usually shoot couldn't shoot because it was all physical and competitive, and the league is 10 times that. Okay, 10 times the street ball. These are high-level dudes going at it at full tilt. So Deuce has not been shooting the ball as good as he did it during the season. But just as a player can adjust to the speed of the regular league games, they would adjust to the speed of the playoffs. So that could happen. I'm hoping Deuce breaks out tonight. If he breaks out tonight, that would make things a lot easier for the Knicks. If Mikal Bridges breaks out tonight, Mikal Bridges had a horrible shooting game. Of course, defensively, he's using all his energy to guard Cade and whoever else, and Beasley and all of them. So that's why he's not shooting as well. Same with OG. But if one of them could break out today, that would make things a whole lot easier for us today, right? So we know Cat's going to be Cat. Brunson's going to be Brunson. Hart is going to be Hart. The thing about Josh Hart, now, if his shot is falling, that's good too. But the thing about Hart is he's the Energizer Bunny. He's Charlie Hustle. So as long as he's doing that stuff, that's cool, right? I mean, look at that last play. Tobias Harris is grabbing him by his arm to stop him from getting the ball, okay? He still gets out. He still gets out to the three-point line. From being grabbed under the basket, he gets out to the three-point line. See, I watch stuff like that because that's defensive stuff. He gets from under the basket being held by Harris. He breaks out of Harris's hole, gets to Hardaway. Now, he fouled Hardaway. I seen it. Yeah, I thought it was a foul. But I didn't think they was going to call it. Not in that game. Not the way they was refereeing the game. They weren't going to call that. Detroit knows that. All they could do is whine. But he was there, though. That's the thing that impressed me. He was there at that three-point line to meet Tim Hardaway Jr. That's all I need from him. If I could get that from him, which I'm 95% sure we're going to get, no, I'm 99% sure we're going to get it. Unless he's hurt or he's sick, and even then. He bring that type of energy and that type of level of energy to the game. Long as he don't turn the ball over a lot, he tends to do that sometimes. But that's all we need from him. And if he's hitting his shot on top of that, it's a bonus because he's not a shooter. So if he's hitting his shot on top of all that, that's a bonus. That's just a bonus, okay? So Brunson's going to be Brunson. Cat's going to be Cat. If we could get a Bridges or an OG or a Deuce to come out tonight, and it's not like it'll be a failure if they don't, but they're capable, and it can happen anytime. It'd be nice if it happened at MSG tonight, because that would make this a very nice night for us. So we'll see. But worst case scenario, you're gonna have Cat, you're gonna have Brunson, you're gonna have defense, you're gonna have physicality, and the Knicks should be in good shape here. Of course, it's gonna be a madhouse at MSG today. Madhouse tonight, which is what you want. Greatest arena on earth for basketball, and it's going to be loud as you're going to expect it to be. So let's get this win. If we can get this win, then today being Tuesday, they probably won't. The earliest they'll play is Saturday or Sunday. So that gives them at least 3 or 4 full days to recover and get ready for the Celtics. And, that's that. So, against the Celtics, we'll talk about that. Let's get this game done. Then we'll see y'all in Boston. You all have a good day. Enjoy the game. Shalom.